Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how I do a rhinestone tumbler glitter bottom for my rhinestone tumblers. This is the perfect way to add that finishing touch to your rhinestone tumblers once you have it completed. I am specifically using the Steel Magnolia tumblers for this tutorial as they have a removable bottom, which is what I specifically like for my glitter bottoms. After you've finished a rhinestone tumbler, what you're going to want to do is remove the bottom of the tumbler. I'm going to do this by using a paint scraper, and I just kind of wedge the corner in, and I just wedge it back and forth and wiggle it until I can start to get under that cover and pop it off. After that, I'm going to take about 15 mLs of mixed epoxy, part A and part B, and I'm going to add a couple drops of white acrylic paint. I do this because I like to do different layers, so that way I have like a background color that's going to act as like a base coat for my next glitter layer. So I'm just mixing it up here, and I'm going to drizzle the white part onto the bottom, and you don't want to put too much because you still have to do a couple layers after this, but you don't want to do too little. You want to be able to have a solid background for this. I specifically like to get in that little divot in between just because I like a fully solid color bottom. Other people have done different colors or different designs in that area, but I like things a little simple. It just doesn't need to be fancy or complicated, so I'm just adding a little bit of white into that divot. For this stage, I am using DIY Speedy PD Epoxy. I have it linked down below. I absolutely love this for doing my glitter bottoms. It honestly speeds up the whole process. And make sure that you hit it with your heat gun or your torch. I don't have a torch. I am very accident prone, so I use a heat gun. Please use whatever you are most comfortable with. You're going to want to let this sit for at least an hour. That way you can let that layer cure before you start your next layer. For the next layer, I'm going in with about 15 mLs of Speedy PD again, and I'm using Cosmopolitan from PDB. I absolutely love PDB glitters. I have a discount code available, so if you want to try them, you can check out the link down below. I absolutely adore their company, and it's just so amazing. So here, I'm mixing in that Cosmopolitan glitter with my epoxy. Kind of went off camera a little bit, but that's okay because I came back. So I'm just mixing it here, and I'm going to pour in just a little bit more glitter because I thought it needed to be like just a little bit thicker because it is a fine glitter. So after mixing it for a little bit, I'm going to pour it into the bottom on top of that cured white. And there's no rush when I'm doing this part. I just want to gently pour it in there because I don't want any overage spill. So I'm just kind of drizzling it in, and I mostly want to focus towards the middle part because I'm going to end up rotating this to distribute the epoxy evenly. So here I'm kind of lifting it up, and I'm tilting it at a slight angle so I can rotate this epoxy to meet the edges of the tumbler. You can see that where the edges are on this divoted area is a little bit deeper than the actual height of the tumbler, so there's some pretty good depth in here. I just want to make sure that I get all of that lower area. After this stage, I'm going to hit it with my heat gun again, but this time I'm only going to leave it for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to add my tumbler tag. This part is optional. If you do not want to add a tumbler tag, then you are done after this and you just let it cure. But if you have a tumbler tag, then please follow along. After about 15 minutes, I like to go in and add my tumbler tag. I do this because then the epoxy has a bit of a chance to kind of cure a little bit, and it gives it a little bit of resistance. It won't just fully sink and like have epoxy cover the tumbler tag. So I just kind of push it down, and then after that, I wait for it to cure. And I'm going to go in here, and it's just about done, but because I added that tumbler tag, I need to add a clear layer of epoxy on top just to protect it. So I'm going to go in with another 10 mLs of epoxy. I am using DIY Speedy Petey for this one, but you can use any type of regular epoxy for the finish if you wish. So I'm just going to drizzle that in the middle, and then I'm going to rotate it around like how I did the last layer. I want this to be a thin, smooth layer. You can also use a silicone brush to brush it apart and move it around, but this is just what quickly works for me. So you can see I'm just kind of slowly turning it. I don't want to get over the edge of the stainless steel. I find that if I go over the edge, it kind of gives it kind of a poor quality look. So you just got to keep spinning it and keep turning it. And eventually you're going to get to the end. I know I went a little bit slowly, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys the process on how I did this. Sometimes you can hit it with your heat gun a little bit and it'll make it spread around a little bit faster, but I try not to do that because I don't want to flash cure the epoxy. That gets really annoying if that happens. So you can see I'm just kind of tipping it back towards the middle so it's all not on one side. And then once I realize it's all flat and even, I'm going to let it sit and cure. I want to make sure, especially, that I hit this layer with my heat gun. You do not want any bubbles in this layer. And once you're able to do this, you are going to have a simple yet elegant, beautiful glitter bottom to complete your rhinestone tumbler. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you loved my tutorial. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and make sure you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. Thanks.